Hello and welcome. My name is Andrea and thank you for joining me. It's Sunday evening and all the kids have gone to bed. After I posted my last video on Friday, I was so blessed by your comments and your encouragement, and even I had a couple of people donate money to get my car fixed, and that was a way surprise and super incredible, and what a blessing. So thank you to you guys both for your comments and for your financial support, and we're gonna get that fixed tomorrow, and I'm super excited about that. That will make a big difference in what we can do. So thank you again. I think I mentioned in my video on Friday that I'm a foster parent, and I have 3 siblings. They're all girls. They are 15, 9, and 8. And they also have 2 siblings that are in foster care with another family. And they are 13 and 14. So really close together children. And one of the things that is important in foster care is that we foster those sibling relationships, that we make sure that they have time together. So I have been super blessed that this other foster family that has these other 2 children has really embraced the fostering, and just like me, and has embraced our family as we have embraced theirs, and we have been able to kind of walk this journey together, encouraging each other and building each other up. I've been so thankful that we have a lot in common. They are believers and they share the same morals and values, the same desires for these children that I do for mine. And so it has made this journey in foster parenting with these children just so much richer and so much better. So one of the things that we do is we are in a club called 4-H together, and that club meets at my house once a month. So that meeting is on Sunday nights. So on the weekend that we have our 4-H, I invite those foster kids over to spend Saturday night, and Sunday with us, so that the kids can spend a good amount of time just building relationships and staying close, and actually getting close, because before they came into care, their relationship was so different because there was so much neglect that the relationship was more of a parent-child relationship with all of them, where they were really just trying to care for others. So they didn't really have that true sibling relationship, that pure, we're all kids together, we're all playing together, we're all doing together. And so it's been such a huge blessing to see them be able to just be siblings without the responsibility of caring for themselves and caring for each other. Anyway, putting that a little bit aside, we love to have this time with them. They come and we add 2 extra kids to our mix for the weekend, and over the course of time we have really seen just so much growth in these children, both in the way that they communicate as well with us, as well as the way that they communicate with each other. And so this weekend in particular, it was such an interesting weekend, because in the past weekends I've gotten a lot of questions from the older kids. Like, they like to ask questions about things that Christians think are wrong, and why they think that they're wrong, and what's so great about being a believer, and why did Jesus die for me? And we just get all these really big questions, and all Christians are homophobic, or just really, really deep questions. And it's really difficult to share with these kids and talk with these kids in a way that fosters respect for their opinion, but speaks truth into their life. And so in this journey of trying to love them and teach them that you can disagree about something I cannot agree with you and I can still 100% love you has been a challenge. So we have these conversations over and over about some of these really deep and difficult topics. And the important thing for me to remember, and for this other family to remember, is that these kids have had no moral compass. Like throughout their entire lives, and some younger, some older, they have seen things they should never have seen. Things that have gone on in their lives as normal are not normal in most families, and that they have no idea about right and wrong in some areas. And so talking to them and speaking truth consistently in a way that says, let's talk through this, let me hear what you think, let me listen, I want to hear you, I want to listen to you, I want to hear what you have to share with me, I want to share with you what I have to say, and let's have this conversation. But at the end of the day, there's some things that we're just gonna say, we have to draw the line here, because this is my home and I am the parent, and I have been blessed with the responsibility of taking care of you, and because I am responsible for your heart, for guarding your heart, for guarding your mind, for guarding your body the best that I can, for you to have the best future you that you can have, I have certain rules that I've put in place. And so as we talk about things like sex outside of marriage, well, they don't understand why that's a big deal. And so we have to talk through some of those things, and then at the bottom line, we can talk more about that. I can help you understand more why that may be something that could be damaging for you in the future, and how, no matter what happens, like that piece of the puzzle has so many implications. Or we talk about a lot of different things like that. But bottom line is, in this house, that isn't going to happen. Like, you are not going to have your boyfriend over and spend the night and have sex in my house, because I don't think that is the best thing for you. We see that kids who are engaging in sexual relationships, they have such deep emotional issues because having that intimate relationship can cause just that's meant for a deeper emotional bond. And so when we're not prepared for that, a lot of things can happen that are traumatizing for us, for them, as young people who are engaging in something that really wasn't originally designed for that format. Nope, you're not smoking in my house. Your friends aren't smoking in my house. I'm sorry. You cannot go to somebody's house if I don't know who their parents are. These are all things that we talk about, why we set those boundaries. Why do I care whether I know the parents of the places that you're going or not? Why do I care if I know the other kids that you're getting in the car with? Like, these are things that we are having to go through over and over again. And admittedly, sometimes I get these questions so often, like, why can't I go with my friends? Why do you have to know who they are? And I will literally say, sorry, I've answered that question for you twice already in this conversation. I will not answer that question again, so please do not ask me again today. I think one of the things that has helped these kids understand how much this other family and how much I love them and care about them is that my answers are always consistent. And the way that I live my life is consistent with what I am saying for them. And the way that I've raised my other children, older children, the rules for them were the same. These are not rules because of where you come from. These are not rules because you're foster kids. These are not rules because you're different. These are rules that I raised my other children with because they are good rules that help to guide and nurture them, help them to be age appropriate, help them to have healthy minds, all of those good things. And so as we're having some of these deeper conversations, I feel like we're growing in trust, and so they're able to hear me more even when they don't agree. But I'm gonna say that this weekend was completely different. Like every time they've been over, we always go over this hard stuff. This weekend when they came, it was like having a bunch of little kids. They were so excited to be with each other, and they just played on the trampoline, and they played outside, and they went for a walk and got me some groceries, and they came back and they played games on the computer together, and they played Monopoly, and they just did all these great things together and seemed to be so relaxed and feel so safe. And so this weekend has been just so encouraging to me, and I keep saying I've been encouraged, but I really have been so encouraging to me that some of this hard work that feels like it's monotony and when is it going to change and whatever, like it felt like a breakthrough that was like, we didn't have to talk about this tough stuff. I know where you're at with it. And one of the kids is very much into the they them pronouns, and I don't really buy into that they them thing. I believe that we were born with a gender. We were born with the gender that we were meant to have. And just because you feel a little more sensitive and people call that girly doesn't mean that you're not a man, that you're not a boy. It just means that you have different emotions than other boys do, and that is okay, right? So my agreement with the kids is that if you want to be called they them, the only way that I can respect that is by I will use your name. I will not call you they them, because I love you, but you're a him, right? Or you're a her. I will not call you they them or by your opposite gender, but I will refrain from using pronouns, and I will use your name. And so one of the kids is just really still into this they them. Most of them have decided through a lot of their own self-reflection and based on the conversations that we've had about who I see them as, who Christ sees them as, and just all the things that we've gone through with. Don't make a decision about these things based on your past. Like you're still struggling to know who you are as you before you decide you're going to change you into somebody else. Anyway, so now, because of all of that, because of all of the trust that we've built up, even when I say him, oops, sorry, I didn't say your name, I said him, I didn't even apologize, but it's like, it's okay, because he's respecting me and where I come from, and I'm respecting him and doing the best that I can. So we're both working on that, but this weekend was finally that breakthrough that was needed with everybody, that we could just trust that everybody cared about everybody else and everybody's best interests were really being met through this weekend. And so I just want to share that. I'm hoping that there may be other foster parents watching this that may struggle with the same thing. It is super hard. With foster kids, it's super hard, especially when you take in kids that are older, and there's some people who are really good at this. When I first signed up for foster parenting, I was like, preschoolers, young kids, I can do this, but I cannot do teenagers. But in God's grace and God's wisdom, He brought me a teenage girl, and we struggled through the first months because, well, one, she was only supposed to be temporary, so what do? And then as things grew, and then we brought her siblings in, and I just realized how much God was growing me in this and helping me to see these kids in a different light. But anyway, I'm just hoping that there might be some foster parents out there who might be encouraged as they're going through this time of adjustment or difficulty. Raising teenagers is difficult, but then raising teenagers who have been raised by somebody else, who live by a different code than you live, but live by no code, really, sometimes. How do you manage that? How do you speak the truth in love to these kids who are so really resistant even to anybody loving them because they feel like they're unlovable? And sometimes they've been passed from family to family to family, and as soon as they do something hard, people are like, you gotta go. We're gonna move you to a new place. And just having to live through those different milestones in their lives, and they're not positive milestones, how, when you bring them into your home to love them and give them permanency and give them stability, how do you do that? And how you manage that with them, and understanding their background and understanding all that they've been through, yet not giving on your core beliefs, not giving on your morality, not giving on the truth, but still loving them in a way that makes them feel really that you love them, that there's somebody who really does love you. And like all kids, there will be days where they don't feel loved, or they remember something and nobody can love me because of this. I mean, we all go through that, but it's important that even in those times that we stand firm in loving them, we stand firm in what we believe, we stand firm on the word and the truth. And I do not physically open the word with them, but I do speak the Bible to them. I do speak God's word to them. I also do not pray with them at night, but I do pray. We pray at meals, and I do pray for them, and I do tell them that I've prayed for them, and I ask them what they want me to pray for them. You know, what's going on? What can I do to pray for you? And I do share with them how much God answers my prayers and how much He's blessed me. And sometimes the answers to my prayers are not what I expected. Actually, rephrase. The answer to my prayer is often not at all what I expected, and not at all what I wanted, but exactly what I needed. So sharing that with them, that just because we pray or just because we believe in God, just because I'm a Christian, it's not a magic potion, doesn't make it all go away, doesn't make all the hurt go away. I'm still going through some difficult things, you're still going through some difficult things, but despite those things, or because of those things, we have our challenge to live our life with joy, live our life according to the Word of God, and live our life for God's glory in all that we do every single day with consistency. And we're human and we make mistakes, and I'm completely transparent about that. But I'm hoping that and through their actions and attitudes, I know that I'm getting through to them, and that we're starting to feel more comfortable and more like a family. And it's funny because on Saturday morning when they gather, first thing is they start dividing off, right, into groups, just like little cliques at school. And Sebastian, who's 5, my adopted 5-year-old, he's adorable and whatever, but not only is he the youngest, and really at that age significantly younger than the others, but when they get together, they really click together, and they leave out my older kids, and they leave out Sebastian. And we had taken a trip together, that family, the other family, and I and the kids, Sebastian, we all went on a trip for spring break. And during that time, I lectured on how we are now all a family. That foster family, my family, we are all a family. You siblings and Sebastian and Eli and Samuel and my older kids, we are all a family now. For as long as we are together, you are a part of our family. And so Saturday morning when they first got here and breaking off into their cliques and they're out playing on the trampoline, and they told Sebastian, you know what, I don't get to see my siblings very often, so I don't want you to play with us. And Sebastian comes in crying. He's 5, he's crying, his feelings are hurt. And I said, so I brought everybody inside, and I said, I took them in groups, in their little groups. I said, okay, let's talk. And we're going to talk. And I'm like, listen here. And I said pretty much the same thing to everybody, but because there's different age groups, you can talk to them a little bit differently. Look, you live here. And because you live here, he's your brother. We're not breaking off. He is your brother. He's not somebody else's family. He's not, a bump on the log. He is your brother. Okay, let's get the other kids from today. And because he is their brother, he is your brother. We are all one family, and you need to think about that. Like, how would that make you feel if you came over and the girls were like, hey, you know what? I don't want to play with you today because we had this thing going on with Sebastian and you're really not included. Yeah, that really wouldn't make me feel too good. I really didn't think about that. So we're not going to exclude anybody because that is really hard to be excluded and make you feel like you're not a part of the family. So what you do when you do that is you say, this is our family and you're not part of it. But we are saying, this is our family, you are our family, we are a family, and so we need to treat each other that way. Funny, once we had that conversation, and it was really like a light bulb went on, it was amazing, and that was it. The rest of the weekend was phenomenal, and didn't have to say another word to them about being inclusive. It was like a mini miracle. And again, thank God for that, because he really is working in the hearts of these children. They have some really big feelings going on. They have some really big emotions because of the life that they lived. And really the life that they're living, because who really wants to be separated from their parents and live with some strangers and not really feel like you're not a part of anything? So it thrilled me to see that change this weekend, and really even the older kids, my older kids when they were home, they all played on the trampoline. Even my 19 and 18-year-old, they all played Monopoly together. They all were doing things together, and it was really just a blessed weekend. So I hope that that was encouraging to someone. I hope that it was helpful. Oh, I do want to say too, I did get a little bit of me time. When they're all playing, it's so great. And I wanted to show you that I made some little animals. My cousin is going to a baby shower, so she called me up, and I love it when she does this. And she says, can you make me some little under the sea animals? Because that's the theme to go with my gift. And I'm like, oh, I'll look and I'll see. But here, I made a little octopus. Isn't that cute? To go on the baby gift. As well as I made a couple of little turtles. So that was my fun time this weekend, making little origami, I think it's called, animals for this baby shower. So even through all of that, I was able to relax and find some time to do a little bit of what I love, and do that for my cousins. So again, thanks for joining me. If you like this content, if you're interested in watching more, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so when I post new videos, you're made aware. And thank you for doing life with me. I hope to see you again soon. Good night.